Good morning. Since the exam is fastly approaching, I would like to discuss about the constitutional aspects by referring certain words and important citations so that you should understand the constitution. For your kind information, our constitution in India was adopted by us, we the people of India adopted it. That was 29th August 19, no, sorry, that was 26th November 1949. The constitution was implemented in respect of a few provisions of the constitution, but however, the entire constitution was brought to force from 26th January 1950, the day which we called as Republic Day. See, most important thing is in Constitution that preamble. You kindly go through the preamble and try to understand every word of preamble. The preamble contains sovereign, socialist, democratic Republic of India. This is what they say. They speak about justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. This social and secular was introduced by Indira Gandhi, madam, by 42nd Amendment. That is most important, 42nd Amendment. You know one thing, the most important constitutional cases about the structure of the constitution was Sajjan Singh, Sankari Prasad, Golaknath, then Kesavananda Bharati and Minerva Mills. These are the subsequently, recently by upholding the Kesavananda Bharati and Minerva Mills, another judgment was delivered. You see, there were fundamental rights were given to citizens because you are, and that is guaranteed fundamental right. Right to equality 14 to 18, right to freedom 19 and 22, right against exploitation 23-24, right to freedom of religion 25 to 28, cultural and educational right 29-30, right to constitutional remedies 32 and 35. This is most important. Then other important aspect I would like to see, there were multi number of committees of parliament according to constitution's regulations. Business Advisory Committee, Committee on Private Members' Bills and Resolution, Select Committee, Committee on Personal Rules Committee, Committee on Privileges, Committee on Subordinate Legislation, Committee on Public Undertaking, Committee on Government Assurance, Committee on Absence of Members, Estimates Committee, Public Accounts Committee. There were two kinds of bill being passed by the Parliament. Number one, ordinary bill, and then money bill. Money bar finance bill. Ordinary bill may be introduced by either of the houses, but money bill must be introduced before Lok Sabha only. That should be referred to Rajya Sabha, and there were categories of powers to Rajya Sabha, how to pass, or the President may pass the bill if it is passed by the Lok Sabha. There are certain guidelines. That is most important. So I can't go on reading and boring you. See, the chief source of political power in India is people. The source of legal authority or sovereignty of India is Constitution of India. Then they say then Constitution was adopted on November 26, 1914, which day we celebrate as Law Day. Then the Constitution was drafted by Constituent Assembly, which was the members were elected from provincial assemblies. The first Provisional Constitutional Committee had been chaired by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Then the permanent chairman of the committee was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Indian Constitution, written Constitution, and we have single citizenship, strictly federal form of government. All these things are there. Then I will come later on after going through the entirety of it. So for all these things, Constitution should be understood. Yes. How this Constitution was brought into force, because prior to that, after 1857, Indian Mutiny is called as First Independent War. The India was brought under the direct control of British, and Viceroy was appointed. Thereafter, the legislations of India were passed by Imperial Parliament. Then what happens? There were multi-number of acts which, by due to agitation of the Congress and other political parties, Montagu-Semson Board, Minto-Morley Act, then 1935. That 1935 Act is most important because the Constitution of India contains multi-number of provisions contained in 1935. So thereafter, 1947 Indian Independence Act was passed by the Imperial Parliament. India became independent country. So that is most important. So as I already told that this Constituent Assembly draft committee chairman was Dr. Ambedkar. He struggled much, and multi-number of amendment even prior to adoption of Constitution were made. A shot was teared into multiple pieces, then stitched, and somehow they managed to adopt the Constitution. This is where our Constitution did. The primary form of our Constitution is federal, quasi-federal, and all basic requirement of Constitution is incorporated in the Constitution. Independence of judiciary. There are three pillars of sovereignty: is executive, legislation, and the independence of this. So multi-number of discussions should be there for understanding Constitution slowly. And the vital factor, vital word, vital nomenclature which played a prominent role in interpreting Constitution was what was the law, whether amendment to law is law or not. This crux of the matter was decided earlier by our Supreme Court of India for the past decade, that amendment was not law. But then a very larger bench of Golaknath decided by majority that the amendment is also a law. Therefore, they struck down all the laws which was against the fundamental rights, infringing the fundamental rights. Therefore, prospective rule of interpretation, doctrine of prospective rule, that the struck down will be effective only prospectively, but basically the which law was declared null and void should be from the date it was enacted. But here they have introduced the prospective implementation of declaration of law under 142 of the article of the Constitution of India, which was declared, which has been declared to be a law binding entire India. So many things you have to understand when you have to go through the Constitution. Tomorrow I will again go deeply and I will make you to clear what is law of repugnancy, pith and substances, occupied field, doctrine of pleasure, eminent domain, doctrine of bonum parte, all are related to constitution of India. Best wishes.